What is up, my fellow boss enthusiasts? That is really hard to say. All right, so we are back. We are in beautiful Emerson College right now, on location for Secret of Mana. Now let's just dive right into this. So right here we've got on the very first page a dead body. Apparently, I'm just gonna kind of get a shot of that. It looks like someone got deflated. I don't know, deflated person. So let's see what we got in this issue. We've got Mario All-Stars, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. These two guides both look really cool, and I remember when I read this issue for the first time, I wanted these two guides so bad. So especially the Mario All-Stars guide, it looks really fun. I don't know if I ever actually got that guide. Like later in time, I bought a whole bunch of these guides. Might show you sometime. Maybe I'll review some of those guides too. I don't think I ever got the Mario All-Stars guide though. We've got pretty stacked table of contents here. Secret of Mana is the standout here. We've got ActRaiser 2, very cool game. So let's see what's happening in Players Pulse this month. We've got Nintendo Power readers creating Robot Masters for Mega Man. This is awesome. You've got Nightman, you've got Windman. Both of them are from Mega Man 6. Let's see what we've got for letters this month. We've got, all the letters are about Star Fox, so that's kind of cool. And this is interesting. We've got two letters that end the exact same way, back to back. I'm starting to wonder if these letters are truly on the up and up. This guy says, I am looking forward to the second FX chip game, FX Tracks. And then the next letter ends with, I am looking forward to FX Tracks. So I think Nintendo Power might be trying to pull something there. And here we've got the main event of the issue right away, right off the bat, not wasting any time. We jump right into Secret of Mana. This game is just beautiful. It just, I'm gonna pan down this tree right now and just show you what I'm talking about. This is a beautiful game. Really fun game. They actually just released a remake of it just recently, and I have the remake. You know what? Hold on. Follow me, guys. Follow me. Come on. We're gonna go for a special walk trip here. I'm going to show you something. Don't worry, it's not a firearm. That would be illegal. Okay. Can I show you something here? This, Secret of Mana, the remake, I didn't even plan this at all, but I actually just picked this up earlier tonight. I didn't even think about the fact that I was reviewing that particular issue. Completely coincidental. Maybe subconsciously I was thinking about it. Yeah, PlayStation 4, Secret of Mana, how about that? And it's got some nice artwork on the back too. So I'm gonna definitely check this out later on. So what do we got here? We've got the boy and the girl, the main characters of the game. Now, if they look familiar, it's for a good reason. Chrono and Marley from Chrono Trigger were actually these same two characters. Let me try to explain that a little better. This game is what Chrono Trigger branched off of. Originally, this game was supposed to be for the CD add-on, for the Super NES, the CD add-on that was never actually made because it became the Sony PlayStation instead. So Nintendo really screwed up on that one, but we know that. So Secret of Mana was going to be one of the big games for the CD add-on. And what happened was they had to scale it down to fit it onto the Super Nintendo, and it became the game that we got. However, a lot of the stuff that they created for the CD version of Secret of Mana, a lot of the artwork, the characters, things that they wanted to put into Secret of Mana that they couldn't, ended up in Chrono Trigger, which is why the two main characters here look so similar to the two main characters in Chrono Trigger. They were basically twins that separated in the womb, if that makes any sense. They started as the same game, and then whoop. So yeah, this game came out in 1993 on the Super NES, and then a couple years later, they adapted Chrono Trigger for the Super NES, and it ended up being a tremendous game. So, who needs the PlayStation when you've got games like that on the Super NES? Now, here we have the world map, some very interesting looking locations here. The whole game has kind of an enchanted vibe to it. Each area kind of exudes a certain mood and atmosphere. You've got the desert area, the snow area, the ice country. I can barely go through a blizzard, even in the present day. I'm 34 years old, and I can barely go through a blizzard without thinking of ice country and Secret of Mana. It's just, it was that magical of a location. You even got a city made of gold. It's just haunted forest, Gaia's navel, Matango, the truffle forest. This issue only covers the very beginning of the game. It does not do this game justice at all. Luckily, there are 3 other issues later in time that really get in depth on Secret of Mana. And I will be covering those issues sooner or later, so stick with it. Stick with me, rather. bear with me, and I will be covering those issues at a later date. Probably all 3 back-to-back. It's going to be a fun month when it happens, for sure. 3 weeks back-to-back. Secret of Mana. But right now, this is the original Secret of Mana coverage. Not in-depth at all. We've got maps of the first few areas. You know. Oh, look, it's the Sprite and Flammy. That's kind of a heartwarming shot. And yeah, we've got the Western region, Gaia's Navel. These are the first few areas of the game. They're very green, very plain areas. This doesn't really do the enchanted magic of the game justice, so we're not really seeing any of the particularly cool areas. We also have the Dwarf Cave, which is another very generic looking RPG environment. So yeah, they're not doing the game justice here, and I'm really glad that they realized that a few months later and did that whole huge Secret of Mana expose that they did. Got a nice shot of the Sprite here, summoning the Dryad, Esper. So now we've got the sports scene with your host, Lou Z. Ball, and we're just going to kind of skip over the entire sports scene there. Anyway, next we have SimAnt for the Super Nintendo. Really fun game. You got red ants and black ants, which a lot of games just give you one or the other. This game gives you both. Really weird idea for a game, but I'm glad it exists because we need weird games like SimAnt in our lives. Aero the Acrobat. This is Nintendo's attempt to emulate Sonic the Hedgehog with a red bat. Look at this. Even the levels look like Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know if you can see this, but just like these long, windy, just completely a Sonic the Hedgehog clone right here. Oh, and what do we got for the poster this month? We've got Batman, the animated series. Nestor's Adventures this year. He's in Empire Strikes Back. He fights an Ice Wampa with Luke freaking Skywalker. This is back when he was Luke freaking Skywalker, before this latest movie where he just became like this grumpy old man. So yeah, we've got a Jurassic Park video game for the Super Nintendo. You've got some cool weapons. You've got a cattle prod. You've got a rocket launcher. That's a big step between those two weapons. Oh, wow. And they've got the entire world map here, and it's crazy. I guess it's good that they give you this map, because otherwise you'd never be able to find your way around. And now we've got ActRaiser 2. We've got another world in peril. It's just like the Secret of Mana world in peril. You play as this strapping angel fellow over here. He's got long, luxurious hair and beautiful feathered wings. You can bet that he's a hit in the club. This is only maybe half of the game. I have actually beaten this game. And yeah, this is not all of it. Very cool pictures of the bosses. These are like hideous pictures. I gotta get some close-ups of these. But yeah, hideous pictures of the bosses. And let's see how the tone of this particular article is. I don't know if I've talked about this in any prior videos, but Nintendo Power had a very specific intonation with their writing when they would cover certain games. If they were covering like a really comical game, they'd have a funny intonation. If they're covering a serious game, they'd have serious intonation. A game like this, which is very kind of Shakespearean, if that makes any sense, they have very boisterous language. Immediately after defeating the crustacean at the bottom of the ocean, another distress call comes in from the east. It is a solitary voice. A queen once lived in a castle in the town of Devote. Altheria is thought to be what remains of Devote. It seems the queen was conquered by the demon jealousy as a result of her own suspicions and jealousy. She is now, they said jealousy twice in the same sentence. That's poor writing. She is now held captive by the demon's flame. The flame must be extinguished for the queen to be freed. The master will help. That's your dude's name. He's called the master. He's a cool dude. He's got his beautiful feathery wings. We've got a giant scorpion, the demon knight. Man, this guy, he's got a hefty sword. Here we've got EVO Search for Eden in classified information. This trick is amazing. It teaches you how to turn into a human, which is the most powerful form that you can achieve in EVO Search for Eden. And this particular trick helped me out quite a bit when I played EVO back in the day. It's basically required if you want to beat the final boss, because the final boss is really nasty. You have to be a human for that. So this is a crucial tip right here. There's also a mermaid body that you can achieve. However, the mermaid body has very limited application. I believe you can only use it in one stage. Let's see what else we have. Link's Awakening, grabbing goods. I just want to take a quick moment to talk about Link's Awakening. Whenever Nintendo Power would cover Link's Awakening, like in this particular issue, in any form, anytime there were any screenshots of the game, I would be so excited to just look at pictures of this game because I wanted it so badly. And it took me probably about a year and a half to get it once I started wanting it. So what I would do is I would troll all these Nintendo Power issues just looking for screenshots of Link's Awakening so I could just like stare at them and think about the game and like imagine myself playing it. That's how it was when you were a kid though. It's like you couldn't just go out and buy something. You had to just imagine it and just look at the screenshots and be like, oh, I can't wait to play that game. Oh, wow, Link is fishing in this shot. Oh, man, I would love to just play this game and go fishing. So here we've got the Star Fox comic. In this particular issue, our heroes are driving around in their swank red convertible. It flies. You know, I have a convertible, but it does not fly. It's also not red. I wish it was, because if you have a red convertible, like a standard convertible is great in and of itself. But if you have a red convertible, believe you me, you will get hit in the face with panties every time you stop at a street light. You know, it's a red light, you're pulling up in your convertible, some girls over here, some girls over there. They will throw their panties at your face while you're parked at a stoplight. Only if you have a red convertible though. You know, if you have a black convertible, you might get like one panty a day if you're lucky. A lot of stuff going on there. You know, I'm probably gonna cover these comics a little more in depth in their own videos in the future. So this is cool. Mr. McCloud, or Fox McCloud, he makes a promise to a little fox child, at least it might be a rabbit, I don't know. He makes a promise to this little child that he rescues. Tells him he's going to defeat the bad guys. And Andros has an evil twin, and he looks like Cornelius from Planet of the Apes. Wait a minute. The first planet in Star Fox is called Cornelia. I never realized that before. So it is a Planet of the Apes reference. Wow. Power Players Challenge. We've got what is the lowest score you can get at the end of level 9-4 on the Lost Levels for Mario All-Stars. Cool. I never did any of these challenges. I wasn't good enough. Here's Ultima Runes of Virtue 2. This is a game that I really wanted as a kid. It just looks like a really cool Game Boy RPG. Never had the chance, though. It's probably just as well because it looks like it's, you know, pretty complicated. These RPGs do not hold your hand at all. The Ultima series, you are on your own. And that's great if you want that, you know. So finally, we've got Kirby's Pinball Land for the Game Boy. This game is super compelling. It just looks fun. You've got a Poppy Brothers themed stage. Poppy Brothers are so named because of their poppy growing. So yeah, just really compelling, fun-looking game. Each stage is themed around a different boss. What else do we have in this particular issue? We've got Counselor's Corner, some Kirby's Adventure. Funny thing about this particular thing, this, how do I find the secret exit in stage 7-6 of Kirby's Adventure? He shows you that you can go up to the moon, and there's a secret door in front of the moon that you can go through, and it takes you to a secret area with lots of extra lives. I actually went and tried that in Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy after I read this, because this same area is near the end of Kirby's Dream Land, and it has the same moon and everything. So I flew up to the moon in Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy, tried to go through a hidden door, and it worked. It turned out there was a hidden area that I did not know about, even though I'd had Kirby's Dream Land for months at that point. There was one hidden area that I never found. And thanks to this particular tip, I was able to find this secret area in Kirby's Dream Land. Even though it was for a completely different game, I just kind of went, hey, maybe it's the same case in the game that I have. Keep in mind that it is 1993 at the time of this issue, and they're talking about silicon graphics already, showing you state-of-the-art computer-generated graphics. The N64 is not going to be around for years at this point, 3 more years. This is great. We've got Super Mario Brothers and Friends standing out on a dramatic city background rendered by silicon graphics. This is funny because now we've actually got Mario Odyssey, where Mario and friends actually are standing in a cityscape. So yeah, this picture actually ended up becoming a thing 25 years, no, what? 25 years later? I just had like an out-of-body experience. Either Raph or Michelangelo, because I'm slightly colorblind, looks really angry. And then you have Leonardo, I think, kicking, what's his name, Leatherhead? Kicking him right in the mouth, and it looks like he's about to chomp down. I would not kick this guy in the mouth. It just looks like a bad idea. He's going to chomp down. He's going to lose a foot. So we got the 4 turtles. Each one has their own special powers. Good stuff. Fun times. Every Ninja Turtles game is fun. Casey Jones with the swinging hockey stick. And then you've got Hothead. I thought his name was Leatherhead. Anyway. Was this guy in the cartoons? Because I don't even remember him. And then you got Shredder. He throws bombs. Cool kind of drop kick here that Donatello's doing to Casey Jones. We've got Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. You know, if you've seen one Pac-Man screenshot, you've seen them all because they all look like that. And finally, what else is in this issue? Oh, top 20 for the month. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, topping the Super NES charts. Zelda: A Link to the Past, coming in at number 2. Legend of Zelda, number 3 on the NES. Zelda: Link's Awakening, number 2 on the Game Boy. So it's a wide open field this month. A lot going on, a lot of contenders. You know, you got Kirby's Adventure on top of the NES charts. You got Street Fighter 2 really dominating. You got Super Mario Land 2. Mario is actually only controlling one of the 3 charts. A lot of these issues, he's got all 3 of them. Just boom, total Mario dominance, Mario monopoly. But in this issue, all he has is the Game Boy. Now playing. Let's see what reviews we got for Secret of Mana. Let's see. Pluses for Secret of Mana. Beautiful graphics and great depth of play, which includes real-time battles, puzzle solving, and exploration. With the multi-tab, you can have a 5-player adventure. Except you can't, because there are only 3 characters in the game. So let's see. What did Secret of Mana get in the power scores on a scale of 1 to 5? It got a 3.9 for graphics, 3.1 for play control, because of the sword charging probably, 3.7 for challenge, 3.9 for theme and fun. I would give it much. I would give it 4s. Pack Watch, Games of the Future. We've got Aladdin for the Super NES on the way, based on the movie Aladdin. There is actually a level in this game, and I'm being completely serious right now. There's actually a level in this game where you take Princess Jasmine on a magic carpet ride while the Steppenwolf song plays. Okay, that Steppenwolf song does not actually play. A Whole New World plays, or a Super NES rendition of it. It's actually a beautiful stage, a beautiful level. It's a departure from the usual running around killing stuff. I don't think very many games back then had a stage where you take someone on a date. Yeah, Aladdin, fantastic game. We've got RoboCop versus Terminator on the way. How are these games ever a thing? How was RoboCop versus Terminator a thing? Like, I'm glad they didn't make a movie about it, because that would have been stupid. Terminator managed to escape the Alien versus Predator nonsense, but I really don't know how this could be a thing, because RoboCop would get destroyed by the Terminator. Like, he would get obliterated. And in this game, you play as RoboCop and you kill all these Terminators. It makes no sense, okay? It's not how it works, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, Wolfenstein 3D. Popular PC game is coming to the Super NES, now with 100% fewer swastikas. Finally, we've got Play Domino's $25 million Nintendo Instant Win game. Get a free game card and free twisty bread. And on that note, I am fairly hungry currently. So that concludes the Secret of Mana issue of Nintendo Power, volume 54. One final note on this issue. So as you can see, this dragon from Secret of Mana, he's got this blue eye. You might be able to see that there's like a little kind of pupil colored in there. That was not in the original issue. The original issue, the blue eye is just completely flat. It's just flat blue, like when the Undertaker rolls his eyes back into his head and it's just like white. You know, it's just like that. And I remember my mom was looking at this issue and she got kind of freaked out by the eye. She said that eye is just so creepy. So she took like a blue marker and she went in there, she just added a little pupil just to make this dragon look a little less menacing, like a little friendlier. I can't imagine this cover without the little pupil now. So yeah, good times. 1993. I was very young. So thank you for joining me for another exciting episode of Nintendo Power. Tune in next time when more fun things are going to happen. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be eating some very spicy wings with some very spicy sauces on them. Nintendo Power. Join me next week, and I'll see you then.